Okay, the meeting is called back to order at 7:21 p.m. Please rise, and the clerk will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doesn't have anything. I don't know. No, but she already. We would like to welcome Miss Susan Gilbert Collins onto the board. She administered or signed her oath back on the 29th. So welcome, Susan.
Welcome, Susan.
I don't have that. Weird. Okay. Well, I already read it. May I please have a motion and a second that the board approves to amend the consent agenda to approve an agreement with a tenured employee and accept the resignation of Jason Johnson effective the close of business on June 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Board members, questions or comments? All those in favor? All in favor, none opposed? May I have a motion and a second to approve the modified consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Board members, questions or comments? All those in favor? All in favor, none opposed? I think I'm just gonna read off of this. May I please have a motion and a second that the treasurer's report, including the cash report, general fund cash report, the general fund revenue status report, general fund budget status report, school lunch fund cash report, and school lunch fund revenue and expense budget report for the month ending April 30th, 2025 be approved?
So moved.
Second.
Board members, questions or comments? All those in favor? All in favor, none opposed? Aaliyah, then Kristen. Okay, we are on special reports.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We're going to move into, before we begin our special reports, we have our student representative here, Helen Broikus, and we'd like to invite Helen to share a report if she has one prepared.
I do. Thank you very much, Dr. Potter.
You're welcome.
I'll start with some district-wide updates. It's been a while, so I'm covering a larger span of time here. We had a very successful spring concert season. Students and staff also had lots of fun on our last community building day of the year. And the end of school year is rapidly approaching, so that's something that is on everybody's minds. At the high school, the National Honor Society inducted an amazing group of members for next year. AP physics classes took a field trip to Darien Lake to learn about the physics of roller coasters. Mrs. Willikin's French class had a Zoom meeting with a French rapper, Dr. Yarrow, who I learned has one of his songs has 62 million views on YouTube. So Dr. Yarrow is, I suppose, a big deal. Senora Lazio's college Spanish classes, which I was lucky enough to be a part of, learned salsa and bachata in dance lessons. The annual one-act play competition took place earlier last month. Members of the Mean Girls cast and crew competed for the first time at the Regional Stars of Tomorrow showcase. Spring sports are beginning to wrap up. We've got the baseball team, the lacrosse teams, flag football, and all of our spring sports are doing extremely well. Seniors are having lots of fun with quintessential activities like senior breakfast, senior slideshow, and senior bash. At Bay Trail, early last month was the 8th grade dance, and 8th graders also had lots of fun on their annual Washington, D.C. field trip. There's lots of excitement about the fall musical for next year. It's being revealed through a series of hints. The final hint, see if you can guess it. Sidekicks shine, a quest begins, a talking friend who always grins. A kingdom strange, a tale so bold, a story like this never gets old. I don't know what it is. If you have any ideas, let me know.
It's Into the Woods.
It's Into the Woods?
I think so.
Ooh.
Pinocchio.
Or Pinocchio, right, yeah. At Scribner, students took a bunch of awesome field trips, including the Rochester Hall of Justice, the Colonial Bell, they went on the boat in the Erie Canal, and the Seneca Park Zoo. At Cobbles, the Cobbles Cares basketball game, raised money for local charities. The Indian Landing Ice Cream Social took place at the end of May and featured student artwork, music performances, and delicious ice cream sundaes. The annual bingo night was also lots of fun, and the annual Harris Hill Art Fest celebrated their students' amazing artistic abilities. That's all I have. Happy end of the year. Thank you.
So before we continue, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge someone very special. Helen, our Student Board of Education representative.
I got it right here. I think, is this?
So these are for you, and we wanted
Thank
to
you.
celebrate you because we've been so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, they're here now. Thank you, everyone.
So for the past 2 years, Helen has served as a thoughtful and dedicated voice for her peers. At every board meeting, she has delivered clear, thorough, and insightful updates that reflect not only what is happening in our schools, but the heart and spirit of our student community. Her presence on the board has been nothing short of outstanding. Helen, we are so proud of your contributions. You've shown leadership, poise, and a deep commitment to representing your fellow students with integrity and care. Your voice has truly mattered, and your service has made a difference. As you prepare for the next chapter of your life, we want you to know that we are excited for what your future holds. If these past 2 years are any indication of what your future will be, we know it will be extraordinary. Helen, thank you sincerely for your 2 years of service, and we are grateful for all that you have done. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
It's been our pleasure. Okay, so now I do have some student and staff honors that I'd like to share this evening. And so we're going to start, and as always, I follow Helen, and Helen's always beat me to the message, but I will still share. We had our honors convocations. More than 325 Penfield High School students were recognized for their outstanding achievements at the honors convocation ceremonies. Congratulations to all of our award winners. Student Athlete Honors. All of the Penfield spring athletic teams earned Scholar Athlete Honors. Congratulations to the following teams: baseball, softball, boys and girls track, boys tennis, boys and girls lacrosse, girls flag football, and boys golf. Athlete recognition ceremony. We had the pleasure of participating and recognizing 37 seniors who will be continuing their athletic career in college at the athlete recognition ceremony. 9 of these students also signed scholarships to Division I schools. Seal of Biliteracy ceremony. Penfield High School recognized 37 seniors who earned the Seal of Biliteracy Medal at the recognition ceremony. 3 of these students earned medals in 2 languages. And that concludes Superintendent's reports. I'll turn it over to our board president.
Thank you. Okay, so we are on 6A, change orders. May I have a motion and a second that the change orders as described be approved? Board members, questions or comments? All those in favor? All in favor, none opposed? May I have a motion and a second that the year-end 2024-25 fund balance authorizations be approved?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? All those in favor? All in favor, none opposed? Okay. May I have a motion and a second that the superintendent of schools is hereby authorized to enter into the intermunicipal fuel agreement with Monroe One BOCES driver ed program, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, the Penfield Fire Department, and the Town of Penfield for the provision of vehicular fueling or refueling for the period July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Kristen and Aaliyah. Board members, questions or comments? All those in favor? All in favor, none opposed? And may I please have a motion and a second that the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to enter into a contract with the Center for Youth Services for the 2025-26 school year?
So moved. Second.
Board members, questions or comments? Okay, all in favor? All in favor, none opposed? We have president's remarks. So, Monroe County School Board, none. And then district was the audit committee.
Would you like to share, or would you like me to share?
You share, and I might add something.
Okay. So it was our final audit meeting for the fiscal year was May 29th. It was Nicole's last audit meeting. We had a review of our audit engagement process where they just walked us through the entire process. We also had an internal claims report where over 6,000 of our checks have been reviewed. 68 were incorrect and voided. Some could have been lost in the mail. I know I was one of those people whose my check was lost in the mail for a reimbursement for a booster thing. So that happens. We discussed any issues that in our action steps that are taken to fix those, just like correcting remittance addresses, making sure we have all the required signatures, including making sure that any supporting documentation that's needed, making sure we have our voucher packets. And then we talked about dates for next year.
I just wanted to add a sort of a more higher view, just how impressed I am at the auditing process. Like, nobody need to ever fear that anything, just we have an external auditor who looks at everything to see risk. They look at, there's checks and balances. They look at, is there compliance with the law? They check for fraud, both implicit and explicit. They look at reserve fund balances. The internal claims auditor looks at every single check that is written and makes sure that all the sequencing is right. So it's really
it's really an impressive machine, well-run, well-oiled machine, and there's really it's just excellently done, and there's no way that something would be amiss in terms of our auditing. So I was just impressed with the whole thing.
I think it helps that we have Dan Driffill at the lead because
Oh, of
he
course,
is
yeah.
so meticulous
Yeah.
about everything.
Yeah.
And a man of definitely
Yeah.
integrity. Yeah.
But it takes a team, and the fact that the auditors are external, so
Yes.
it's completely objective, and they hold our feet to the fire if that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
There's a high level, I agree with that. There's a high level of accountability
Yeah.
on behalf of how they have the expectations laid out for us as a district, and literally combing through everything to make
Yes.
sure that we are legally compliant.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the key pieces in this whole audit process. So I actually appreciate you referencing the level of detail that goes into the work. And honestly, at that meeting, I think one of the things that we just celebrated our auditors on the thorough work that they do on behalf of our district.
Now, Kristen already said it earlier, but this is Nicole's last board meeting. So Nicole, we'll all go through and say a few things, but you know, I've really enjoyed, and I'm gonna miss having you on, you know, the board, and just the way that you are thoughtful in all of your communication, and you know, everything that you put forth that causes us to really think about all of the things that we are doing. We are so, you know, I'm grateful for having you on, and I value all of the time that you've spent and just your thought process in general, and I'm really going to miss that. I wish you well in your next chapter. I know you have a lot of positive and exciting things that are to come, and I'm so excited and happy for you, but I am going to miss you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're going to go down the line.
Yes, we can go down.
So I will kind of echo what Emily said. I think one of your greatest strengths is how you process information. And I love the questions that you ask when we're talking about things because you bring a unique perspective. And I think that's so valuable. I also love that you are true to your values and your own beliefs. And I think that's one thing that's special about this board is that we value each other's beliefs and values. And we're okay with people disagreeing, but honoring who they are as people. But you just, when you ask questions, I love the questions that you ask, and I'm really going to miss that thought process that you contribute when we're discussing really hard things. You ask the hard questions, and I think that's really important. So we are really going to miss you, but I'm sure you're going to enjoy your little extra free time that you have on your hands.
All right, I don't know how to top that. Yeah, girl. You're going to be missed. Yes, and again, very thoughtful, good member of the community. It was an honor to serve with you, and stay out of trouble.
No promises.
Okay? No. All right. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you.
So we won't let Emily go first next time.
Right. I had to because every time
I
have
know.
nothing
I'm
to
like,
say.
this is why
That's true.
you can't go first. Okay. No, but I agree, and I hate to be like, you know, I echo what what they all said. I learned a lot by sitting next to you. I do admire your questions. You do have really thought-provoking questions, and you will ask or maybe, you know, bring up something that I was like, oh, okay, that's a great point. And so I appreciate that. And I am going to I'm going to miss sitting next to you. And I know you're going on to do some other things in life, but you will be missed. And it was a pleasure being able to have the time that I had getting to know you and serve with you. Thank you. Yeah.
So usually I do go first. I had the benefit of having Nicole as my mentor this year, and it was just a great start to be able to meet with her and talk with her and have her help me through the process of what it means to be a board member here. I'm also so very impressed with her because she just released a book.
Second one.
And it's her
Sorry,
Oh,
fourth
it's her
one.
fourth book release, and I'm currently reading it. She hasn't signed it yet, so I'm going to have to find her to get it signed, but it is excellent and well-researched, amazing perspective in that book.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nicole, I just wish that we were overlapping by more than one meeting. I would have loved to have served long with you on the board, but thank you for everything you did.
Thank you.
It's
You too, Helen?
Hi. It's been a pleasure to work with you over these past 2 years. It has been a joy to witness your care and your grace in everything that you do. And I'm leaving, so I'm going to miss everyone, but you will be missed, especially by the community and by the board.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I'll just share on behalf of the district. I think one of the things that I will miss significantly, and I know everyone has said it, but just your way to dig in a little bit more deeply to find out the why for the ways in which we move and function as an operation, as a system. You've asked questions that have helped us be thoughtful as leaders to grow, as well as pay attention to the community based on some of the insight and feedback that you've provided, and that will deeply be missed. I think just your overall partnership and support and love for your community is something that I think we noticed every meeting and every time we came together. So thank you for that. And I know that there are going to be wonderful things ahead for you, but this is a role that we were so grateful that you were a part of for our district. So thank you.
Thank you. So do I get to say something
Yes,
too?
you
I have loved being on this board and serving with all of you. I mean, I respect all of you so much. You're all smart and insightful and love this community and brought your A game to this. We are all very different people. We grew up differently. We have different values. We have different experiences, but we all brought it to the table, and it's all been so good. And I think we all made each other think about things that we would have never thought about on our own. I think, the community probably doesn't realize that we also, our task on the board is so multifaceted. And one of the sad things that we unfortunately have to do is read texts that we receive from Dr. Potter of people in the community who have passed. And those have been parents and children. And we all feel that as mothers, as grandparents. We all share that heartbreak. And so, like I said, the job is very multifaceted, from the sad things to the triumphant things to the invigorating new thoughts, new ideas, new things learned in workshops. So, yeah, I consider myself really fortunate to have served with all of you and to have gotten to know you, and I look forward to dinners at Indian restaurants and coffees and lunches. I'm glad we all live close to each other, so see you later.
Thanks, Nicole.
Okay, we have no unfinished business, no new business. May I have a motion and a second that the meeting end at 7:45 or be adjourned at 7:45 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All in favor, none opposed.